If you've used TypeScript for a while, there's a chance that you've come across this annoying looking error, right? Something just like this big verbose wall of text. And when you're sitting there coding and in the heat of battle, just creating and trying to build something, it can be pretty frustrating to have to stop and parse this entire thing. I got to the point of getting so frustrated with this error that I actually wrote a little rap about it the other day, and I want to show it to you right now. Yo, TypeScript got me on the edge. I'm feeling stressed. Incompatible property types got me feeling pressed. Trying to navigate this code, it's a mess. But I won't give up, I gotta beat this pest. Type mismatch errors got me feeling stuck, like I'm trapped in a maze, just trying to duck. Through the red squiggly lines, I'm trying to truck, but the errors keep on coming like a bad luck truck. Incompatible property types, what you gonna do? I gotta keep on grinding, I gotta push through. The code creative, dropping knowledge is true. Let's conquer these errors, me and you. But anyway, let's take a closer look at this error and let's see if we can really break it down so that we can figure out a better and a quicker way to get to the heart of it, to really comprehend it. Well, first of all, let's just take a look at our code to see what we have so far. Right here we have an array of employees. Each employee is represented as an object with a name, age, and department property. And then we have this format items function, which at the moment isn't doing anything, but you might imagine that we can use it to format these employee names and change them to uppercase. Now, format items has a parameter called items, and we're annotating it with this type here, which is an array of objects, with the objects having a name property being a string, an age property being a number, and a department property being a string as well. Unfortunately, when we pass the employees as an argument to the format items function, we get the famous TypeScript red squiggly line, and this tells us that something's wrong, hence why we get this massive error message. So how can we learn to read this in a better way? Well, first of all, let's just come in here and let's copy this, and let's paste it to the top, just as a reference. And the first thing I want you to notice is that each of these lines is tabbed or indented. So each one of these lines represents a different aspect or facet of the error. And one of the first improvements we can make in reading this is to simply start from the bottom. And the reason for that is that the bottom line is going to have the most specific and direct reason, or like the core reason for the error. So in our case, where we really don't have very much code, this might be enough for us. Type number is not assignable to type string. Right, with this, I can glance at the employees array, and I can pretty quickly see that the department property in two cases has a string, but in one case has a number for some reason. And the type requires department to be a string. Right, so pretty much with this bottom line, I've solved the error. Oh, snap! But now, in a real-world scenario, this employees array could contain many more objects. And the items type might be much more complex as well. So imagining that to be the case, this bottom line might just not be enough. Even though it tells me the core reason for the error, it doesn't really tell me where to look for it. So for that reason, I can ascend to the preceding line, and here I can see types of property department are incompatible. So the keyword here is property. This is telling me which property the error is occurring on. Right, so now I know not to look at the name property, the age property, but I need to hone in on the department property to find the error. So what you can probably see here is that we started with a very small specific piece of information, and then we branched out a little bit, or we kind of zoomed out a little bit more to find out, okay, which is the actual property on which the error is occurring. So taking this idea of zooming out a little bit further, right, since we were here before, the next logical step would be to look at the entire object. And that's basically what the preceding line of the error addresses. Right here it's saying type, where we have name is a string, age is a number, and department is a number, is not assignable to type, where name is a string, age is a number, and department is a string. Right, so now it's considering this entire object to be mismatched. And indeed, that's exactly what's happening, right? Because we have name, string, age, number, department, number, but that's not assignable to our items type, which has department as a string. Okay, let's go a little bit further now. Let's look at the second line of the error, and here we see type, where we have name string age number department string, or a union type of name string age number department number is not assignable to type of name string age number and department string. So now what's happening is that it's considering all of the objects in this employees array. And that's why we see this union type being referenced here, right? Because some of the objects here do have department as a string, but this one has department as a number. So hopefully now what you're seeing is that each line of this error message, it's sort of like doing a little bit of detective work, right? We can start here with the most specific part of it, and then we can zoom out even further, zoom out even further than that, right? From here to here to here to here. And all the while, we're getting more clues about this error. So now the last kind of big zoom out is to look at the entire employees array, which is being passed into format items as an argument here. And that's exactly what it says on line 1 of the error message. Here it gets into the fact that we're passing this in as an argument, and that this argument is not assignable to parameter. Right here, parameter. So on the most specific level, we started here, which is really the specific core of the error, a number being assigned where a string is expected. And we zoomed out all the way to here, where we really found out where the error originated from, and that was from the employee's argument passed into format items, which unfortunately was not assignable to the type annotation we made for the items parameter. See you next time.